Coming to you today from beautiful Perry Park. I've just spent some time with Phil DeBella's latest venture in the coffee commune, talking to some ASBAS clients. It has been sensational. It's been sensational. What a day. And if you didn't make Click Digital yesterday, next time it comes up, be there. It was amazing. It was amazing. 20 odd of the best digital advisors you'll ever get access to, plus David Koch with his view on the economy and where business needs to be for the next 12 months. Big day, a lot of fun, and we've got some really cool stuff coming up next week with our CRM webinars as well. So it's all happening. It's all happening. Anyway, today, speaking of happening, let's make today happen. We've got repeat business. We're talking about customer advocates. We're talking about people coming back and some customer loyalty, buying from you more than once. Happy days. All right, let's go. So, customer loyalty. That's the theme, okay? It's about doing little things. It is about being different to your competitors. It's about doing stuff that they don't do. It's not about spending a ton of money on big marketing campaigns and humongous loyalty programs and investing an absolute metric ton of cash into a CRM. Although, if you haven't got a CRM, you should get one, because with the changes that are coming up with cookies, the death of cookies, that whole third-party cookie thing is going to die a horrible, ugly death. With the changes to iOS, if you do not have a good CRM, you are going to have some problems. But anywho, let's talk about today. Do more, exceed expectations, win hearts, and as I said, it ain't about the money. Not today. Well, actually, two little things I would like you to spend a few dollars on if you can, if you think they'll work for you. But apart from that, it's all about doing more than your competitors do, standing out, going the extra mile. Because we all deliver a good product, we all deliver good service. That's the minimum expectations that clients have. Simple as that. We need to do more to get them to come back. We've got to stand out. So not for the next 90 minutes, for the next 45 odd minutes, this is a workshop that I've compressed, so we can basically rip through everything that I want to talk about rather than the whole interactive thing. We're going to talk about just strategies, just little stuff you can do that make a difference. What we're talking about is being a penguin in a duck pond. Now, when you think about it, when you actually sit back and think about it, businesses are just a whole lot of ducks in a duck pond. In your market, everybody more or less looks the same. You talk the same, you walk the same, you've got the same products, you're just a whole bunch of ducks. If you want to stand out for the right reasons, if you want to make an impression in customers' minds that they simply cannot get rid of, because it's a good impression, it's one that they enjoy and want to repeat the next time they've got a problem that you can solve. If you want to do that, if that's your aim, and it should be, you want to be a penguin in a duck pond. Okay, now he's a happy little penguin and the ducks are pretty much meh. And the reason he's a happy little penguin is because people keep coming back and giving him fish. We want more fish. More, actually, we should make that a theme of that. We should do a webinar, more fish. Okay, and seriously, you think about it. You ask yourself, why would your customers talk about you? Because you don't want to be vanilla. Vanilla's an ice cream. It's a milkshake flavour. Like, meh. Okay, it's with respect to vanilla, it's a nothing flavour. Right? There's not really anything going on. Right? You want to be extraordinary. You want to be the chili spice in their hot chocolate. Actually, chili spice on chocolate is pretty cool. Okay, and it's all about little improvements. Okay, your uniforms, the way you talk with your customers when they rock in, and that's even online. Everything I'm talking about today, you can apply to your online store. The way you talk and greet with your customers. Are you using chatbots? Seriously, if you're not, you should be, okay? And think about the conversations you're building into your chatbot to help people interact with you in a better way. Your store layout, not just your bricks and mortar store, your online store. How easy is it and how pleasant is it to do business with you? Right? And if you want to know how that rocks, ask your customers or get one of your friends who doesn't normally do business with you to visit your store. Physical or online, doesn't matter. Get them to rock in and ask them how easy was the process. Was it the sort of process that makes them not want to come back? Because if that's the case, you need to change, and you need to change now. Okay. Client education. Do you actually give your clients some training? Do you help them with how to use your product, with what your products do, with what's coming down the track in terms of improvements and new products and all that really cool stuff in the industry? Do you supply that information so that you are different to your competitors? Do you stand out because of what you do there? After sales support. Some of that's client education. Some of that is trying to deal with post-purchase regret. Okay, we'll go through all of these things over the next half hour or so. But these are the improvements, these are the everyday habits that you can change to make your business stand out, to make people want to come back and do business with you again and again and again. And not just that, get them to come back with their friends. Okay, that's what we're looking at. It's the courage to make small changes for big returns. All right, that's the theme of today. You're a penguin, you're a brave penguin. You're going to make little changes and you're going to reap the rewards. Okay, so the number one thing I would like you to do is actually, truly, deeply understand the business you're in. Now, I've got an example there on the slide of a hairdressing salon. Now, that's a client of ours. She would be less than 1 kilometre from my home, around the corner, down the street. Now, ladies hairdresser, her staff and herself fundamentally changed their business, turned their booking sheets from a patchwork quilt to a solid colour of booked, because they understood that when the clients walked out the door, they felt better about themselves. They weren't in the business of cutting hair and adding colour and making it curly or making it not curly. They were in the business of self-esteem. They were in the business of making their clients or helping their clients feel like $1 million when they walked out the door. And once they focused on that and that clicked with them and they made that the focus of everything they did, once that was triggered, the bookings went up because their clients not only were happy to have another service, they told their mates about it. And suddenly their friends are booking because they had that independent third-party reassurance of how good a hairdressing salon they really were. And it wasn't just extra cuts or extra colors. It was all the product they were selling, all the add-ons, the accessories they were selling. People were wanting to stock their product there on a commission basis because they simply had people coming in and out. They just didn't stop working. Ridiculous. Understand the business you're really in and then make that the focus of everything you do. Align everything to that. Your brand, your marketing, how you reward your staff, align it to your true purpose. Okay, you do that and you will stand out. You will be extraordinary. Now, value customers. I will say this again and again today. Now, look, we know the goal, okay? We'll value our customers, you know, some perhaps more than others, some maybe less than others. But the thing is that the research shows that approximately 70%. Now, that figure is actually 67 point something or other. Call it 2/3 because that 2/3 number will come up again. 2/3 of customers feel undervalued, and that's why they don't come back, and that's why they don't refer people to you, because you didn't care about them. What a huge opportunity. 2/3 of your clients' customers, sorry, your competitors' customers, 2/3 of them don't enjoy your competitor. They don't feel valued. They don't want to go back. How big a market do you want to tap into? Right? Noting that it's probably 2/3 of your customers as well. So lock the door on your 2/3, all right? Value them. And I'll give you the other reason you want to do that. Repeat customers spend 67% more than first-time customers. Now, there are a couple of reasons for that. One being that the first-time purchase is often just a little test purchase to see, you know, is it worth doing? It's just a one-off item. And when they're coming back, they've got a bigger problem they trust you to solve. And we'll get on to trust later. Okay, that is a big word. Do not forget that word. Now, having said that, they still come back and they buy more from you because they are confident buying more from you. And they buy more from you because you value them. They trust you, okay? Your competitors, 2/3 of their customer base is up for grabs. The question is not, what is your competitor doing wrong? The question is, how long are you going to wait to go after that 2/3 by valuing your existing customers and spreading the word? Okay, and getting that feel out in the industry that you're the person to do business with because you care and you can be trusted and you deliver value every time. Extraordinary. That's what you want to be. Okay, now, this is why. Okay, and I'll refer to this obliquely a little bit later on, but people don't buy goods and services. Like Seth's right. Check out Seth Godin on YouTube. Listen to some of the stuff he's got to say. Man's a genius, okay, a real guru. And this is a nice little snippet. People don't buy goods and services. I mean, really, they don't. What they buy is the relationship with you, the stories, the magic, the joy of having you solve their problems. All right? Think about that when you open the door each day. That's what they're interested in. They are not interested in your purple left-handed widget. They don't care. All right, important events. I've mentioned this a couple of times. If you want, and this is where your CRM actually, just to digress for 1 second, this is where your CRM will help you. Okay, if you want people to feel valued, right? Acknowledge important events in their life. What's their birthday? They've got a wedding anniversary. Is there something that you know about them that means something to them? Handwritten card, a phone call, just touch base and let them know that you're aware of it and that you're thinking of them and you hope they enjoy the experience. Personal touch, right? And the handwritten card, I'll talk about that again later. I love it. Nobody does it. Oh, sorry, rephrase that. Very few people do it. You stick it in the mail to them and you'll blow their socks off because nobody gets nice stuff in the mail these days. It's either bills or spammy marketing rubbish. Okay, you send something nice, handwritten, just saying, guys, thinking of you, thanks for doing business with us. It's not salesy. Okay, you're not marketing anything. You're actually just appreciating their business, saying thank you. That on its own, that one thing on its own is worth its weight in double value platinum. It is just a thing that you can't duplicate. You can't buy that stuff, all right? Literally, it's just enormous, okay? Now, I mentioned there about giving customers access to new product lines. I will talk more about that later, okay? But the trick is you treat people the way that you want to be treated. Now, product knowledge. Don't assume that your clients know everything about what you're doing for them, right? Just because they're buying your purple left-handed widget to solve a problem doesn't mean they know everything about your purple left-handed widget, all right? So educate them and be nice about it, okay? Look, they may be smarter than you. They might not be smarter than you. They don't assume they know everything about your product. Don't assume they know nothing about your product. Just value them by politely educating them on exactly how your widget solves their problem. That's it. Now, you do that nicely, and that's a story they'll share. And it's just another brick in the wall that keeps them on your side of the business court. Keeps them away from competitors. They stay with you, and they bring their friends over to your side of the wall. It's just another little brick, one after the other, and suddenly there's you, there's your client base, and there's your competitor on the other side of the wall where you want them permanently. All right? Education, it's power. Okay, and when you're doing that, when you're talking to them about what your widget does or what their problem is, just use simple questions. Okay, your educational material. Okay, video is king. Right, it doesn't matter what you do when it comes to getting your message out, whether it's you're running workshops, you're simply providing brochures, or you're putting up videos. At the end of the day, video is king. YouTube, LinkedIn, your Facebook page, Insta kind of, TikTok sort of, okay, it doesn't matter what platform you use, provided A, you keep it simple, you keep it real, and you use the platform that your customers use, okay? If I was wanting to talk to, let's say I had a product that targeted teenagers, okay? It's the latest in skateboard design. It's an instructional how-to TikTok video. I wouldn't put the video up on LinkedIn. I'm unlikely to hit my market there. And in fact, I wouldn't even bother putting it up on Facebook. Okay, use the platform that your market uses. If you don't know what platform your market uses, do some research, find out, ask them. They will tell you. Right? Literally, people will tell you where they get their information from, and then roll with the video. Now, with your video, keep it simple. Little anecdote, client of ours spoke to him at a business breakfast beginning of last year, just before lockdown. And we were talking about a number of things, including video, and he was interested, but very much of the mindset that ordinary bloke, never done it before, shy. He's actually quite a shy guy, like a lovely guy, but speaking in public would be the last thing he would ever want to do. And the whole thing freaked him out, but he saw that maybe it had some potential. Maybe. Cool. I said, no, it's easy. Keep it real. Just do before and after. Oh, sorry, this guy polished floors, right? Big machine, timber floors, very good at what he does. Oh my goodness, the end result is magic. So mate, it's easy. It really is truly easy. Get phone, it's got a camera in it. It'll be a good camera. It'll be good enough. It will do a good job. Just do a before and after. Hi, this is me. Turn around. That's the floor we're working on. It's made out of whatever sort of dead tree they're using, and we're just going to do this and this sort of coating, and then set the camera down, do the floors, and then do the after. Look at this, and just run around the house showing people what the end result was. He did that, and his bookings went up significantly. And then the Piste de Resistance, he had a new machine from Italy, a dustless floor polisher. Now, I don't know about you. When I think of people polishing timber floors, I think of lots of dust, lots of sawdust flying around. You got to cover the furniture, shut the windows. Terrible. No, 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 no. He rolled out this Italian bit of magic, and he said, "We've got this machine. It is dustless." He set the camera up on a windowsill, and then this really just videoed himself backwards and forwards, crossways, all over the place, polishing the floor up beautifully, no dust. He was booked out 7 days a week for months after that. Like literally, you could not get him for love nor money for about 6 months. Went berserk. He actually stopped putting up video because he simply couldn't take the bookings. It was ridiculous. Do not underestimate the power of video. And the key to all of that was client education. He wasn't selling his services. He was just saying, hi, here I am. Here's the before. Here's what we do. Here's the after. Have a great day. That's it. That's really all he did. Ridiculous. Don't get salesy with your training. Just educate clients on how you solve their problem. They will do the rest. Okay. And not only will they do the rest, they will come back again and again, and they'll bring their friends with them. Okay. Keep it simple. Now, sorry, just talking about that, solve their problem. Now, it is a fine line, and I've been guilty of in the past of crossing it time and again. Just fix their problem. I actually had this conversation not half an hour ago with somebody about the upsell approach to life. Don't do it. Like really, fix the problem. They don't need pinstripes on their widget. All right. If you fix the problem, then they will come back because they haven't been oversold. They don't feel like they've been ripped off. The post-purchase regret doesn't really happen. Okay. Cross-selling is fine. If you're talking, like when you're talking with your clients, okay, and you're discovering what exactly the pain point is, if you find another problem they've got that you can solve it. For goodness sake, that's what you're there for. But don't oversell. All right. That's the customer loyalty thing. That's building that trust that when they come to you, you will fix the problem and you won't rip them off, because that's how they will feel. They'll back off. They'll feel like you're trying to really oversell, get all salesy with them, but nobody likes it. Okay. That stuff died in the 60s. Stop it. Okay. And you want trust, you want loyalty. When you can't fix the problem, tell them that. Just be right up front. Sorry, we can't fix this. This is outside of what we do. And if possible, find them somebody who can, because it's not about making another couple of bucks today. It's about long-term value in your business. That's the whole point of what we're doing today, is building long-term value in your business for you. Okay. So fix the problem, just the problem. All right. Don't oversell. Now, prejudgment is another part of that. Somebody walks in, I had this problem with a team of mine a few years ago, a lot of young staff, and they were pretty judgy. All right, you walk in and it was the clothes, the attitude, it was everything. They would simply pick on everything. So we sat down, we had a bit of a chat over a coffee, as you do, and said, guys, just stop it. Somebody walks in, I don't care if they smell, if they're 7 foot tall, if they're from Arabia, if they're dressed in rags, it doesn't matter. All right. Fix the problem, listen to them, stop, count to 3, and then ask them what the problem is. Ask them how we can help. Where's the drama? What can we do to make it go away? If you do that, your results will go through the roof, and they will come back with their friends, and we make more money, which means we can do more stuff, which is the whole point of being here. All right. Don't prejudge, all right? And drill that into your staff. All right? Your team has got to get out of that habit if they've got it, which I hope they don't. Now, and this is why. Okay, and this is the ethos behind it. Now, Mary Kay Ash, I don't know if you've heard of Mary Kay Ash or not, has a cosmetics business in the States named Mary Kay, funnily enough. And this is one of the signature lines that she has. This is the ethos in her business, that she makes everybody feel important. Doesn't matter who you are, where you come from, what you're doing, make them feel important. And she succeeds. So she's got an enormous business, right? And that's the ethos we need to drill into our teams, is that everybody's important. Make them feel important, and everybody wins. Now, follow up. We all know with our sales, with our cold calling, with our marketing efforts, you've got to follow up every time. If you don't follow up, you won't make the sale. But that's not really what we're talking about right now. It's the post-sale follow-up. If you want that repeat purchase, you want those referrals to come through, and you're selling some big ticket items, or you're in a market where it's an upgrade type of purchase, follow up. Make sure they're satisfied. Make sure that you solve their problem, answer their questions, make sure that what you put in place for them works, and works for them in a way that they're happy with. Okay, stand out from the crowd. You do that, and you are in penguin country, because most of your competitors don't. Okay? Even with things like car purchases. Now, I've bought for myself my family, and some friends and associates of ours, probably 15 cars now over the last 15 years through one dealership. One dealership. Okay, they've got a couple of brands, so it hasn't always been the same brand of car, but we've put a lot of people through that dealership, made them a fair bit of money. Once one of their salesmen has called us back. Now, for me, that's not such a drama because the sales manager and I talk a lot, but I give them the feedback all the time is that your salesmen aren't calling us after the deal. And I check with the people who've bought cars that we've recommended, no post-purchase contact. I said, okay. So we're trying to crank it up. We've done some training with them and now that problem's been solved, but it took a long time to get the salesman to break that habit of once the deal's done, then it's cool and good to go. You think about what all the other dealers are doing, okay? Follow up, follow up, follow up. All right, make sure your customers are happy, make sure you solve the problem. So when they have another problem, they come back to you. Now, as I said earlier, if you don't know, just say so. All right, don't fake it till you make it. That will end in tears. All right. And what's more, when you admit you don't know, and when you go a little bit further than ordinary to try and solve the problem, you'll surprise them, pleasantly surprise them, and it shows that you really care about their needs. Right? You're just not going to put in place a half-baked solution that isn't going to work and is just going to have them coming back and trying to fix it again. Right? You do that, you got to build that loyalty, you got to build the trust, and they'll keep coming back to you. I've seen it happen so many times. It doesn't even surprise me anymore. It's just like, yep, well, you know, told you that, told you so, because that's how it works. Okay, if you build that trust, they will come back. Now, we spoke earlier about client education and about giving people access to new product lines or letting them know what's coming down the track. This is one really cool way of doing it, and this is one of the two things where you might be spending some money today. Okay, customer education events, like I love my customer events. And hang on a sec, there you go. There's a banner you can use. These events are or should be tailored to your customers. Okay, Wine and Cheese works for some, guest speaker from industry, talking about new products, innovations, maybe just how their product works. Okay, client education, this is how it really solves problems. Okay, these are not sales events. They are marketing, but they are not sign up here and give us your money tonight. They are marketing by education. They are brand building. They are building trust with your clients. Okay, tailor it to suit your clientele. Okay, there are not a lot of earth-moving drivers who turn up to Wine and Cheese nights. There are some. Okay, I know a couple, but usually that'd be a barbecue and a few beers. Okay, so just understand your clients. Coming right back to the start where you understand your business in terms of what you really deliver for your clients, that pays off here because the event that you're delivering is tailored to your customers. Right? And this is not, sorry, let me rephrase that. This is an opportunity for your customers to bring their friends along and see why they rave about you. But this is not about bringing in new customers. This is about rewarding existing customers for their loyalty by giving them first access, by giving them information. Okay, now, with the information that you're sending out, with your invitations, if you want to follow up, if you want engagement, if you want to make sure they're getting the message, use text. Okay, SMS is your friend. SMS is king for this. Okay, you want engagement. Emails are too easy to ignore. We get 1 million emails a day. Oh, okay, maybe not quite 1 million, but we get a ton of them. They are too easy to ignore. The opening rate from memory, or actually I was told yesterday, the opening rate was like 14% on a number of email campaigns, and that's targeted emails sent to people who should read them, who you would expect to read them because they're tailored for them. 14%. Text is king. Right now, Messenger is a very close second, but text is king. Now, there you go. Slide again. By all means, cut that out if you can. You can use it. It's got to be the heart of what you do. And yes, that was a deliberate pun. Now, consistency, systems and processes. I spoke about this yesterday, and not yesterday, sorry, I spoke about this on Wednesday, and I spoke about it on Tuesday. I'll speak about it again. I will never stop speaking about this consistency. Systems and processes, they are the foundation to business success. All right. Being ad hoc and innovative and changing on the fly is really cool when you're starting. Innovating is or should be a daily habit in your business, but you need to identify what works. You need to systemize that, document it so that you provide an excellent experience for your customers every time. It's got to be repeatable. There's got to be a pattern to what you do. Now, I'm not saying don't improve. I am not saying don't innovate. Right? That needs to be almost a daily habit of looking at what you're doing and thinking about how you can fix it, how you can make it better, how you can make it a little bit different, how you can stay ahead of the competition. That is part of daily business life. But your fundamental trade has to be consistent. That service delivery has to be consistent. Okay, when you find something that your staff do that rocks their socks, that makes your clients absolutely delighted, for goodness sake, write it down, make it a process. Okay, get the staff member who found that bit of magic to train all your other staff members in that bit of magic. Right? Leverage what you've got. Okay. Now, emotions matter. Wednesday, talk about cash flow drivers. It's all about the numbers, data-driven decisions. Absolutely. Okay, we're in business. The numbers are the numbers. Okay. But if you don't tap into the emotions, if you don't have that real engagement, you're not going to get any numbers. I'll tell you what, the numbers you get, you won't like. Right? So think about how you want your customers to feel when they're doing business with you. How you want them to feel when they walk in the door or when they log onto your site. What sort of emotions do you want to engender? And how do you want them to feel once they've done business with you and walking back out the door or logging off? Okay, when they deal with you, like, what do you want that experience to be like? Right, work it out. And honestly, if you don't know, and this is the constant theme with all this, if you're not sure about how your customers react or just exactly what they're looking for, ask them. Okay, believe me, they will tell you. Okay, you ask them nicely, you set up survey groups, you do the review process, they will tell you where you're going wrong and where you're going right. Okay, so don't be afraid to do that. But again, it's at the heart of it. You value your customer. You want them to trust you. You're going to do what it takes to build that level of engagement. So get it right by figuring out how they want to feel when they're doing business with you. Okay. Now, feedback, and here we go. We're just talking about that customer engagement. Okay. If you want to know how to improve, if you want to know how they feel, ask them. Now, Google reviews, don't rely on them. Like, they're good. Okay. They are pervasive. Let's say highly prevalent. All right. You can't get away from them. Don't ignore them. All right. Particularly the ones that are negative. Jump on, answer them, deal with them, and then disengage. Okay. The ones that are good, cool. Have a process where you simply engage in saying thanks for the review, appreciate your business, and then you're out. Okay. The review system is not a must engage in a 3-day long conversation process. Okay. Engage, deal with it, positive or negative, but deal with it and then move on. Now, online review systems such as Trustpilot or Yotpo, who do more than reviews, but notwithstanding that, actually ask for the review. And the reviews are asked for in a way that gives you the information that you want out of the transaction. Right? If you haven't heard of Trustpilot or Yotpo, and there are only 2 examples of this. If you haven't heard of them though, look them up, check it out, see what they can do for your business, because that sort of feedback is key to improvement. Okay. Now, fake reviews. Google and fake reviews, it's almost an industry, for crying out loud, despite the fact that it's not. It's just at sometimes almost out of control. If you're copying fake reviews, get onto somebody like Removify, who have a process for dealing with them. Now, Google have a process for dealing with them. Removify makes sure that process works. Again, they're just one example, but yeah, I know they work. I've seen them in action, but hunt around. There are businesses that will help you with that. Now, the key, as I say there, the key is to be consistent with your process. Okay, when people give you feedback, you deal with it and then you move on, but you do that the same way every time. Okay, it is not a long-winded engagement. It is simply a case of acknowledging the feedback. They may have ideas for you. If you can't implement the ideas, just say so. Okay, they may be financially impossible. They might be physically impossible. You know, you might not be able to set up a branch in Darwin, not this week, sorry. It doesn't matter what the question is. It doesn't matter what the review says. You have a process. You engage, you deal with it, you move on. Okay. but it is a key to improving. Now, simple, I mentioned this early. Plan A, we live in a very complex world. It is not getting less complex. It will not get less complex. Therefore, simplicity is increasingly valuable. Okay, and again, just pause there for a second and we'll come back to those videos I was talking about with our floor sander. They were so effective because they were so simple. There's nothing complex about what he did. There's nothing scripted. It wasn't highly engineered or highly produced. Very simple, one message, clearly communicated, got results, got massive, magic results. Simple, okay? Now, he did that very easily because that was just him being him. It was, you didn't have to manufacture anything. Sometimes simple is not easy, okay? It sometimes takes a real effort and commitment, but do not be under any illusion. If you achieve that simplicity, it can transform your business. And I've got iPhone there as the example. You think about an iPhone. There are a lot of very complex devices in one complex device, which is enormously simple to operate. When it first came out, it changed the market, and it still is a market leader. People still try and catch up to what iPhone do because they make it simple. Okay, it's all about making it easy for the customer. Is there anything you can take out of your education process? Okay, take out the jargon. God, I hate jargon. It's people using words as weapons almost. They're trying to show how smart they are. Get rid of the jargon if you can. Nice, easy words. Is it easy to understand from the customer's viewpoint? If you want to know that, ask the customer. They will tell you how easy your instructions are, how easy your educational material is to absorb, how simple are your marketing campaigns. Now, I'll make a point there. It's not always take it out and strip it back. It's not always go back to bare bones to make it simple. Recently, we bought ourselves some studio lights. Now, they turned up in a box in about 14 or 15,000 pieces with an instruction booklet. The instruction booklet, and I kid you not, the instruction booklet, this is a Samsung phone, Galaxy something or other. The instruction booklet was one piece of paper, smaller than this, folded into thirds with pictures and a couple of words on it. Now, my wife and I we're not stupid. We've put stuff together before, and yet we looked at that and we almost saw it away and simply spent 10 minutes figuring out how the lights went together ourselves because the booklet was absolutely no use at all. The pictures didn't even look like the parts. The words made no sense. It actually went together in a way that wasn't documented. If they had taken 5 minutes and spent an extra 13 cents and made it a 6-part booklet with better diagrams and more words, it would have saved us some time and we would not have been so frustrated with them, and the purchase experience would have been that much nicer. So the next time we need studio lights, or when people ask us about our studio lights, we might even refer them to the people we bought the lights off. At the moment, we mention where we got them from, and we give a very heavy caveat over the effort you have to go to put them together when they arrive. Now, when it comes to simplifying, again, ask your customers. Right? I know I've said it before, I'll probably say it again. When in doubt, ask your customers. They will tell you. Now, they're not necessarily going to give you ways of simplifying that you can implement. Okay, they don't necessarily understand everything in the business, and that's fine. But you're engaging with them, you're showing them that you value their opinion, and if you can't implement their solution, just say so. So they say, that's really cool, guys. Not sure how we can do that, but we'll take it on board. All right. Now, this is something I suffer from. Okay, so I'm quite happy to talk to this slide. I'll tell you now, know when to stop talking. I've talked people into sales. I've talked them straight back out of the sales in the one conversation, usually within the one sweep of the second hand, because it's that genuine drive and excitement to solve the problem. Okay, and honestly, I really do get quite excited about what I do sometimes. So I'm very passionate about helping business, and yeah, get a bit carried away and just don't know when to shut up, basically. Okay. If you listen more, you find out what's really important to the client. Okay, the 30-70 rule. Now, one tip with the 30-70 rule, that 30% is not 30% in one hit. Maybe 15% at the start and 15% at the end, and then in the middle, listen to what the client's got to say. Okay, open questions. Like, tell me about what happens, when it happens, how do you feel, what's going on, why does this happen, what's the problem? It's the old one mouth, 2 ears approach, which I copped a lot as a kid because I just wouldn't shut up, basically. Simple, simple, simple. Value the customer, listen to what they've got to say and understand what they're saying. And, oops, hang on. There we go. Let them know that you've understood what it is they're saying. It's just feedback, paraphrasing. Right? It's not that hard to do. This is one of the best ways you can value the customer. Now, let's go right back to the start. Yep, that way, start. 70%, almost, the 2/3 number of customers don't feel valued, so they don't come back and they don't refer their friends. 2/3. You want to value your customer, listen to them and let them know that you've understood what they've said. So they know that not only were you listening, but you got it, and then fix the problem. Right? Easy, easy, easy stuff. Now we'll just jump back a couple to where we were. And that starts with knowing when to stop talking. Okay? Open-ended questions, let them lay out what the problems are, and then come back to them, letting them know that you understand the problem, that you've got it, and you've got the solution. And off you go. It's all about valuing, it's all about building trust and building loyalty. Now, when it comes to complaints, talking about reviews before, only 4% Australia. 4% of customers will complain to you personally, face-to-face, and even when they do that, most of them are way outside their comfort zone. There are a couple of people who love the confrontation. They think it's a blood sport. They really enjoy telling people when they're not happy. That's cool. Same process as the people who don't enjoy it, who are fundamentally uncomfortable, want to tell you that they're unhappy because something went wrong. Now, the other 96% are your online complaints. We've talked about the online complaints, about the system to deal with that. Face-to-face, it's the same way of doing it. It's the same process. Listen to what they've got to say, engage with them so they know that you've understood the problem, and then respond. Now, you don't have to justify where you're at. In fact, justifying what you've done is, in my experience, bad for business, right? Simply fix the problem if you can. If you can't fix it, explain why the problem can't be fixed. Right? Not every complaint is an issue that can be resolved. Not every complaint is actually fundamentally legitimate. Sometimes people just want to have a whinge. That's fine. Engage, deal with it, move on. Okay? It is not a great conversation maker. It's not a way of spending 3 hours on an online chat with somebody. It's a way of engaging positively, solving the problem, and then move on. Now, two things about that. If you get it right, you get some customer loyalty and trust because you dealt with the issue and you did it in a way that didn't demean the client and didn't diminish their issues. Okay, that's important. You've got to treat them with respect and regard. And the second thing is, don't be afraid to empower your team, again, within reason, to fix customer complaints. Now, not always possible. I get that. Okay, that's fine. But to give you a real life example, one of the businesses that I've owned, we had a fairly young team and every problem was referred to me. Okay, every complaint, every possible issue came to my desk. And after about, well, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks of that, I'm sitting and I'm just looking at these things I've been dealing with that have interrupted the stuff that I was actually doing. And I thought, you know, probably 90% of those could have been dealt with at the front counter. Like, really, they didn't need to have me dragged in. The only reason they dragged me in was because they didn't have, or they didn't feel they had the authority to deal with the issue themselves, even when they actually knew the answer. And that's the key. They could have solved it. They had all the tools. They had the confidence. They just weren't, they didn't feel they had the authority. So I gave them the authority. I said, okay, guys, these issues we've been dealing with, here's what you can do. Okay, there's a sandbox you can play inside of. If it sits outside that, by all means come to me, because that's something that I want to deal with personally. All right, that's me spending money or me putting time into it. So that's my prerogative to do that. And that stuff inside the sandbox, you can fix that on the spot. All right, and that cost me some money occasionally. I had to pay out some dollars at time to time because stuff went wrong that, you know, it wasn't necessarily our fault, but we just reimbursed the customer and move on. But I'll tell you what, the times we did that, that money came back to us tenfold because the clients were delighted. They weren't, oh, sorry, I've got to get the boss, or I'll get my manager to call you. There was none of that. They walked in, had an issue, and the person behind the counter solved it. That's not as common as you would think. Okay, really, I found out from that. That is actually Uncommon, quite rare. And the clients were delighted and they became loyal customers, and some of them even brought their friends back. They brought back people to us. Now, yes, I had to spend some money for that. Okay, it wasn't exactly free custom, but that was custom that we got. We would not otherwise. We would not have got anywhere near that if we didn't have the policy of letting our frontline staff deal with issues within certain parameters. Okay, if you think that that sounds expensive and risky, talk to me about what a dissatisfied customer who goes berserk on Google reviews is going to cost you. Think about that for a moment. Think about what it's going to cost you when they're telling their mates over dinner, down the pub, at the bowls club, wherever, in Facebook groups, how much fun they didn't have doing business with you and how you wouldn't solve their problems. Don't be afraid to empower your staff for that reason. Okay, it will pay off. Now, that's all part of memorable customer service. So everybody provides good customer service. We talked about that right at the start briefly. It's a customer's right. It's the minimum. Okay. And the thing is, as I say there, it's quickly forgotten about. No, nobody talks about it. Like they don't say, yeah, well, I went to this shop and yeah, I got good service. So, no, you want people to talk about you. It's got to be memorable. It's got to be above and beyond. You've got to be that penguin. Okay. You've got to stand out. And that comes back to all the things we've sort of spoken about today. Understanding your customers, what is important to them. Don't get so focused on the sale that you forget about they're actually solving the problem is. Okay, you're there, they've come to you with an issue, right? You're there to solve it, so solve it. Okay, don't go too far, don't go too short. Right? You're the third bowl of porridge, right? You're just right. Okay? That builds strong relationships. That builds client trust, which is that long-term customer, and out of that you get additional opportunities. And I say that with confidence, absolute certainty, because the research shows that return customers spend, what's the number? 2/3 more. That magic 2/3 number. It comes again and again and again. Trust, extra revenue, everybody wins. Now, spoke about that. It's listening and understanding. It's paraphrasing. It's making sure that both people in the transaction know what's going on. Now, I mentioned this kind of earlier, but your clients don't care about your purple left-handed widget. Really, they don't care about it. What they care about is what the widget does for them, how it solves their problem. So take a minute when you're with them and explain to them exactly how it works, how it will solve their issue. Okay. It's probably not going to be the purple color. Might be, but probably not. Now, it's not necessarily the widgetiness of it. It's why they're buying it. It's solving the problem. Talk about that. Okay, because really, they don't care about the widget. Make them smile. Now, we're going to talk about humor a couple of times. I might jump a few slides here and get to both of those at once. Humor is an icebreaker, okay? Make them smile. We live in a serious world, so just tell a joke, okay? Even if it's a bad joke that they don't laugh at, okay, you've made the effort, you've broken the barrier, you've built that relationship with them, and they'll remember it. Even, I mean, seriously, I have got 705,000 and 1,000 of the world's worst dad jokes. Some of them are just so lame that they wouldn't walk if you put wheels on them. But I'm happy to share them because it breaks the ice. It starts a conversation. Even if the client is laughing at me, not with me, and that's fine, we've got something to move on, okay? Bring a smile to their face, and it'll help you stand out, okay? Penguin, he's a happy little penguin because he's got the best dad jokes in the world, right? Penguin, duck pond, stand out. Use humor. If you don't really do the joke thing, have a crack, okay? The worst told joke by somebody who doesn't have a sense of humor is better than no joke at all, okay? So try some humor, okay? Make them smile. Now explain your secrets. I'll tell you, and we'll just go forward. I'll tell you why. Where are we? Here we go. This is why humor is important. Sorry, I skipped ahead a bit because it kind of ties in with the other one. Humor, okay, and talk about, bring that humor back on your side of the counter, back within your team, okay? Happy pays the bills, all right? Happy Penguin pays the bills. There are a number of studies. I probably should dig them up for you, so you actually put links in there so you can have a look at them. Happy staff are more productive. They take less sick leave. They are not afraid to make mistakes, and they make less mistakes. the irony of that tickles me every time. They don't complain, they simply get on and fix problems. They make better decisions, they learn faster, etc., etc., etc. It is good business, okay? The world is tough. Bring some humor, have a happy environment, okay? Find a way that brings that little bit of joy to the office or to the workplace or even to your online remote team, and you will reap the rewards. The research says so again and again. It's not a one-off result, it's consistent that happy pays the bills. So make it part of your teamwork, okay? If people aren't happy, find out why, okay? There's got to be a reason. But people are not happy genetically. Right? The default is you're neutral to happy person. Find out how you can get people there and keep them there, right? And then you'll benefit. You'll reap the results. Now we're going to go backwards a bit. Whoa. Wait. Oh, there we go. Nope. Here we go. Secret sauce. Yes. Talk about trust, about client education. Okay, I mentioned it before. Don't be afraid to explain to customers why you are different, like what's special about your business, okay? Because you customers, you give them that knowledge. That's a powerful thing, okay? That the fact that you're trusting them, that you're bringing them into the team, has real power in terms of building loyalty and that long-term value. Because people want to belong to something. It's actually part of our nature. You look at sporting clubs, school PNCs, teams of any sort. People want to belong. Okay, even community groups. They want the inclusiveness. It's just part of being human. Okay, cool, excellent. Bring them in your team. Okay, include them in what makes you special. Okay, it is a point of difference. If you don't think that's different, have a look at your competitors and see how many of them do this. How many of them are not afraid to share what makes them special, why you are unique, why people should do business with you. Okay, it's a point of difference. Bring them into the club. Okay, you do that, and you're starting to build those advocates who spread your message. It's your unpaid marketing team who simply go out there and with credibility. And that's the joy of it, is that third-party referral has enormous credibility in today's world. That's what you want. Okay, first access. We did mention that before. Those love your customer events, those supplier evenings, give your value customers first access. Now, it's slightly not quite related, but it is. Banks are classic offenders when it comes to giving the really cool deals to new customers. You want a rebate, refinance your home loan, they give you a couple of grand off. You want the honeymoon rates, buy another property or refinance your home loan, you get the real super cheap rate. Your existing customers, no. You just pay what you pay. No deals for you. Give them first access, okay? And it's no strings, remember that, okay? These are not a massive salesy driven thing. It's about information. It's about making sure you value them, okay? Even if they don't buy, you're giving them access, let them know you value them, okay? That's the point. Build that loyalty, build that trust. You're building your advocacy base. You're building that unpaid marketing team. Now, the way you answer the phone, I'm going to modify this a little bit. It's not just the way you answer the phone, it's also your chatbots. If you're not using chatbots now, do yourself a favor and just investigate it and just see how you can plug them into what you do, okay? It's all about focus. It's about being enthusiastic, having a great tagline and being very engaging with the way you communicate with people, okay? Now, this is almost inevitably the first point of contact you have with your customers. So this is your chance to impress. There's always one. And be different, okay? Do not miss out. Have a crack, do something different, stand out. Handwritten notes, spoke about that earlier actually. This is the other thing where I don't mind to spend a few dollars. It's the second thing that we talk about where it is going to cost you some money, but the impact is enormous. I've seen it. Handwritten notes, get away from that impersonal communication and you'll make a lasting impact. And again, people are going to remember you for the right reason. They're going to talk about you because this is stuff your competitors don't do, right? Gives you credibility, long-term value. People come back, they spend more because repeat customers spend more. Happy days. Okay, it's where we're at. It's not a huge investment, but it's a big payoff. Okay? Your network. This is another way you build trust, you reward loyalty by having a network of people who do what you don't do. Okay, it doesn't have to be, and it shouldn't be a massive referral base. You just want a couple of people in each category. You want to have a protocol for how you deal with referrals from your network in terms of how you introduce them, the feedback, pricing if that's an issue. You want to make sure if there's a problem, you find out about it from the person you referred them to, not from the client. You want to be ahead of the game there. But it's a way of providing information, of bringing people into the team and building that loyalty and that trust. Okay, this is key. Okay, don't do the game face thing. Don't do the business persona. Be yourself. Okay, people want to do business with people. Okay, let your personality loose a little bit. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay, don't the jargon. Yeah, kill the jargon if you can. All right, talk to people the way you talk to your family and friends within reason. Okay, that's why people do business with you, because they know you, they trust you, so that's the person you want to be. Okay, now just this kind of ties back to the whole secret sauce thing. Okay? Cheap has a price. Like, we all know that. Don't commoditize yourself. Try not to build your business on people who shop on price, because there's no long-term value in that. Explain to them why you're worth what you charge. Had that conversation again about half hour, almost an hour ago now, about why I charge what I charge outside of ASBAS, right? The value that we add. Okay? Don't be afraid to explain that. And one of the ways that I've done that in the past is I've used rewards. Okay, when it comes to long-term loyalty with people who are price-focused, I don't discount. I might bundle. Okay, so we're still building cash flow. Spoke about that the other day. Okay, and that kind of reduces the cost from a little bit, but we're still getting our margins on most of it. But it's all about rewarding people for being long-term customers. And again, you're showing that you value them by giving a little bit back. Okay. Now, I'm not kidding anybody here by saying this is going to be easy, because it isn't, and I'm not pretending that it will be. Okay, it's tough. But if you focus on what your brand's all about what you want to be known for, about what your business you're really in, that will make developing these habits that much easier. Okay, talk to your team about the focus. Okay, use it as your evaluation frameworks. Okay, it makes, when everybody knows and gets on board with what you're trying to deliver, changing habits and bringing in place these strategies is that much easier. Okay, industry experts. But we're good at what we do. Okay, we wouldn't be in business if we weren't. So don't be afraid to actually highlight and publicize the fact that you know what you're talking about. Be the industry expert. Be the go-to website for your industry. Don't be afraid to share that knowledge and information. So when people buy from you, they're making an informed decision. You're bringing them in. It's inclusive. It's showing that you trust them. You're not afraid to demonstrate your expertise, because at the end of the day, people do business with people, and people do business with people they trust. Okay? If you're the expert, they're going to trust you. Spoke about happy. There's my contact details. Okay? Now, don't be afraid to fire in some emails or give me a call. They will get answered. Happy to talk about your questions and how we can implement these strategies for you. My name's Kelby. Thanks to Business Station and RDA Brisbane for delivering this to you. Also to the federal government, AusIndustry. Thanks, guys. They're funding this program for us. Check you soon. If you want to talk about business mindset, if you want to know about some cash flow drivers and how to build cash flow for free, catch me next week. Same bat time, same bat channel, and we'll have some fun. Thank you all. Cheers.